We haven't had one in a while. And as we start 2017, I think it's really important that we kind of talk about some things that are going on so that you're informed and aware of what's going on, and you will have an opportunity to ask some questions. I'm not going to promise you that I can answer your question, but if I can't, maybe somebody else here can, or I'll get an answer for you. How about that? But this morning, that's kind of what we're doing. As we get started, what I want to do is, Penny, do we have on the screen a shot of the thing?
No, it wouldn't make it work.
Okay. I've restructured the leadership team here at the Harbour, and I was hoping to have a slide or something where I could draw it out for you. And what I want to do, and I'll kind of maybe illustrate it a little bit better, and people, if you're on the leadership team for 2017, if you'll come up here real quick, you should know who you are. Tony Cooper. Will somebody grab him by the ear right there and make him come in here, please? Okay, I know there's more here than this, I hope. We got a meeting today. Okay, I was in the children's ministry. All right, so how we're doing this is we're going to have working teams. And then if you've been here in the past, you know, like SBRC, Staff Parish Relations Committee, has like 4, 5, 6 members. Finance has 5 or 6 members. Trustees have 5 or 6 members. Leadership team has like 800 members. I'm just exaggerating, but there's just a lot. And so, you know, when you have meetings and stuff, trying to get everybody there, it's hard. And so a smaller church, I think this works well. It has worked well in other churches and worked well at Genesis. So we have what we call working teams. So first of all, when we go, I guess, SBRC, we have 3 on each team that is the working team. So Libby is our SBRC, Staff Parish Relationships Chair person. And then on her, she has Steve Eckert, who's new, and Lisa. Lisa, who's 3. All right? Now, in saying that, every one of these people are SBRC. Except Kenny, she's staff, she can't be. So when we have our leadership meeting like we're having today, if we need to have an SBRC meeting, then everybody is involved. Now, if we have something like interviews or whatever else, then these 3 will be the ones that are doing things and bring it to the entire group. Then we have our finance, which Tony Cooper is the chair, and we have Doug Dana, who is our treasurer, and Stu Barnby, who is not here. His wife's brother passed away. They are the working team of the finance. But guess what? Everybody up here is finance now. We have trustees. Trustees handles legal matters, anything on the grounds, maintenance, that kind of stuff. Any contractual kind of thing, they do that. Tony Cooper's a chair. We have Renee Ferrati on it, and Joey Palmer, who's in the children's ministry this morning. But guess what? Everybody's on trustees here. So when we come together each month and we meet, we can know everybody knows what's going on, and we can make some decisions and be able to do things. But you see, we have a group of people. Ann Spalding is here. She is over missions. She's going to be leading missions this year, and we're excited about her being a part of that as well. Does that make sense? I was wanting to have a little drawing for you, but I maybe did a better job of illustration here. Any questions or anything you want to ask any of these people while they're here? Like, why? Just kidding. Okay, thank y'all for coming. I look forward to serving with you guys this year. All right, so got that out of the way, business stuff. So I want to talk about, before I get into really what I want to talk about this morning, just some things that kind of let you know what's going on in 2017 in the Harbour. If you don't know, today is my first Sunday that I don't have to rush out of here and go north. It was a little, sad to leave Genesis, but they have a new pastor that's just going to be focusing on them. And they need that and deserve that, and I need to spend my time focusing just here and what we've got going on. It was a conference kind of thing decision, and that when we were trying to do another building and move into another building, that fell. We sat down, they said, you got to do something. And I'm like, you won't let me move out of Meridianville? There's nothing else I can do. What do you want me to do? And they said, well, here's the thing. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to supplement your income, help the Harbor with your income from Genesis. We'll get them another pastor. You focus on the Harbor. Look at doing a second service, and that's what we're going to work on. And that's what they did, and that's what we're doing. So that is happening, and I'll talk more about that later. What we're the upcoming things that are going on is our deaf ministry here, Renee and Tammy. They're going to be starting a class. If you're interested in learning sign language, they're going to be starting a class on Sunday evenings at 6 o'clock, and that starts not today, but I think a week from today. It's an 8-week class, and so if you're ever been thought, hey, I'd like to learn that or whatever, they're really good people over here, by the way, and they're nice. They won't hurt you. But if you would like to be a part of that, they'd love to have you, and we're hoping that this year that ministry will develop and really grow here at the Harbor. Every fifth Sunday, which this month we have a fifth Sunday, we're going to have what we call a family Sunday. And what that involves is there will be nursery, but that's it in the back. Your kids will come and sit with you, and we're going to receive communion that day as a family, and Tammy really wants the kids to be a part of all that when we have it, so we're working on that. But we just want it to be a family time where we sit together. And I know some of you go, oh gosh, my kids have got to sit in the service or whatever. You know what? It doesn't bother me. I mean, we've had crying babies in here. We've got children in here. Some kids, people come with their kids and they don't want to go back there. It's okay. You know, if they get to be where you know they need to go out, you can go out in the cafe or whatever. You can hear me back there if you want to hear me, or you know, whatever. But it's okay. I think it's really good for us. And those of you that have been here a while know that we used to have the children in here until a sermon time, and then they went back, and now they have their own worship time. So I think it's good to have the kids in here and let you see the craziness of all the kids back there, and when they're all in here. And it's good for us. So we're excited about that, and that'll start the end of this month, the fifth Sunday this month. And they're going to do a song for us in that service as well. So that'll be real fun as well. Safe Sanctuary. We have that training coming up. So if you're involved or think you were going to be involved in children's ministry, youth ministry, any kind of that type of ministry, you need to be a part of that Safe Sanctuary training. It's an hour long. But it's real important. And let me just say this. I'm sorry, I got to get up and down. Why do we do Safe Sanctuary? Why do we have to have Safe Sanctuary? Back when I was in youth ministry for all those years, we didn't have Safe Sanctuary. And I think back now, think about the stuff I did in youth ministry and the things that we went and did, we're doing and stuff. And I was like, oh man. I mean, today you get in serious trouble. I mean, nothing that ever happened, but all it takes is somebody to say it, you know? And it's just crazy. We never thought about that kind of stuff before. But you have to today. And so here's the deal. We love our children, right? We love our children. Even if they're not our children, we love the children of the Harbor, right? Yeah. It's to protect the children, but it's also to protect you. It's to protect you. So that's why we do what we do. Yeah, there are Methodist churches and other churches, but specifically Methodist churches that don't implement this. They're supposed to by conference regulation, but we do because we want to protect our kids and we want to protect you. So please, even if you're not, I don't think I'm going to be involved in youth or children's ministry. It's okay to come, especially if you have children, to see what the training is that's going to protect your children. So I encourage you to come. Sign up. You'll be hearing more about that in the future as well. You saw the video about peer groups. Peer groups kick off today. If you haven't signed up, what is peer group? Peer groups are our small group ministry. It's the heartbeat of our church. I'll be honest with you. I mean, we have to have this because if you're new here, you see we don't have a lot of space. We can't have Sunday school. We can't have a lot of different things. So we have to have these small groups. Some of them, a couple of them meet here, but most of them meet out in homes or restaurants or bookstores or whatever, and it's really important. It's where you, in a small atmosphere, can grow and get to know other people that you can on Sunday. It's hard when you come in here for an hour or 2 hours max to come in here and know people and get to know them. You shake their hand, hey, how you doing? Oh yeah, I know. You see them in the store, yeah, you're at church, yeah. We don't know each other. But in these small groups we can. And we're not moving away from the sermon base, but we're opening it up to where groups, if they want to do something else, they can do something else, or there's some groups that are still going to be sermon-based. So what does that mean, sermon-based? It means that you're going to have discussion questions that are coming off of the sermon for that day, and you'll be able to go deeper. People say, well, I want something deeper. I don't get a whole lot on Sunday mornings. Well, I can't go real deep on Sunday mornings because I have people that are new Christians or not Christian to people that's been Christians for all their life. Well, you gotta figure out how to do that in between, and it's really hard. And so this gives us a different opportunity. We also have women's ministry where you can, if you're a lady, you can go deeper there. We're hoping to create men's ministry this year as well. But the peer groups are established. They've been going on. We had, I think, Gina, correct me if I'm wrong, almost 80 in peer groups this last session. Is that right?
86.
86. Now, when you average 140 to 150 on Sunday, the church experts will tell you that's huge. I mean, the percentage is awesome. Well, we want more. And so we want you. If you're not in one, we want you to get in one. If we need to create new ones, we will. Okay? All right, so get involved. It's vital to our church. Next Sunday, I'll be starting a 3-week series of 21 days of fasting and prayer. So what I want you to do this week is be praying and asking God, what is it that you want me to do during this 21 days? Well, Scott, what does that mean, 21 days of fasting and prayer? What? Well, it may be something for you personally as you start off the new year. God, what do you have for me? It may be something for your family. It may be for the church. Well, regardless of whatever, I want you to the 21 days of fasting and prayer, I want you to be praying and fasting about the church. Well, do I have to fast every day? It's your call. It's between you and God. Maybe it's once a week. Maybe it is once a day. Maybe it's something for the whole 21 days. I don't know. I'm not going to set those boundaries for you. You need to set those. But we're going to be talking about fasting. What does that mean? We're going to be talking about prayer. How do we really pray? How do we establish that in our prayer time and establish a prayer time? So the next 3 Sundays, that's what we're going to be discussing, and it starts next Sunday. And so really want you to be seeking the Lord this week and know that that's coming up and what does He have for you in that. And then we're going to go right out of that into an 8-week series on recovery, a journey to recovery. And it's coming off of the 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery. So we'll be talking about that more as well. Seemed like there was one other thing I want to talk about, but oh well. All right, so I'm going to stop right here a minute, and Cody is going to take this. Any questions about the church, what we just talked about, anything that you have that you want to ask me or whoever, this is opportunity. And I don't want you to be shy. There's no stupid questions. If you don't know, you need to know. And that's what, we as staff feel like, well, we know, and we think everybody else knows everything that we know, and we don't, and you don't. How are you supposed to know? We put it out, we do the best we can, but maybe there's something that you would like to know about the church, or about something we talked about, and it'll help everybody else. So anybody have a question? Right there. Hang on. This way everybody can hear, okay?
Is there an age cutoff for the sign language classes?
Age cutoff like young kids, teens?
They can, but remember it's meeting at the same time as the youth group.
Okay. So she said yes, but they meet the same time as youth group. Right here.
It starts at 6?
Starts at 6 o'clock. So for 8 weeks. Anybody else? All the way in the back there.
Could you tell us a little bit about the kids ministry on Wednesday nights?
Can you tell us about kids ministry on Wednesday? Just stay back there, Cody, so you can. What? Did I miss something?
No, they're just laughing at me.
Oh, kids ministry on Wednesday night. Well, all I can tell you is what I know. Starting this coming Wednesday night, Tammy will start back her ministry on Wednesday nights. It's at 6 o'clock. There is food. The youth get fed on Wednesday nights, and so we're incorporating them in there. We started this for the peer groups that meet on Wednesday night that had children, and we wanted them to be able to have a place for their children so they can participate. But what it has happened is it's grown to where people that maybe meet on a different night, Cody over here, meet on a different night to have children. They want their children involved in more than just Sunday morning, so they're bringing them. So if you're not in a peer group on Wednesday night and you have children and you want them to be a part of this ministry, because there's teaching, they're not back there babysitting, they're not playing, they're actually doing a curriculum and teaching. If you have children, bring them and drop them off. They're done at 8 o'clock. So they'll be fed at 6, and then about 6:30, 6:45 they go back and have their classes, and then they're done at 8, and you pick them back up at 8. Right over here.
What's going on with buildings, new land, old land?
Great question. Great question. That's one of the questions I thought would come up. What is going on? Well, right now there's nothing. And other than this, we have the 38 acres down the road, and we're paying for it. Okay, right now. I think our debt right now is about $320,000, somewhere around in there, Tony.
336.
336, 0.542. But we're paying that debt down, and there's not a whole lot we can do at this point. We're not at a size to where we can build. We did look into that, and because of what needs to happen to prepare the land and to build a Butler building, about double the size of what we have right here. We're looking at just the building and some things, not totally everything, about $1 million. Well, I don't know about you, but we can't afford that right now. So what we're doing is we're already in this building, and what the conference and what we did in the leadership here to deem was what we need to do is have a second service. There's no point. There's no buildings around here. I know there's some in Meridianville, okay, that have signs up. Trust me, I've already been there. I've already checked into those. Didn't work out. But there's nothing else here. And so we have to stay here and do what we can here and grow, and then we'll look at building at some point in time. Did you have something else?
So, we've done a second service before, and it didn't really work out. What's different between then and now?
Different people, different structure of the service. I think the time, there's no guarantee that it's going to be successful. We're going to get into that in just a minute, because success is going to fall on all of us. But yeah, there is no guarantee, Chris. There's none. But I really believe, and when you hear the statistics of what is out here in the community, there's a huge, huge opportunity. And if we don't try it, many people that have succeeded have failed many times before they succeeded. So we can't just, we tried it, it didn't work once, we got to do it again. And hopefully, with the leadership that we have, the new people that we have here, I think it will go. I've already had people, matter of fact, tell me, I can't get there at 9 o'clock. I'm looking for a church. I'm interested in your next service. Not a whole lot, but I've had a few, which is encouraging to me. Good question, thanks. All right.
Are there any plans, I guess, in the near future to utilize the land as another source of revenue, leasing it for hunting or anything like that?
Well, that's something that's been discussed, and I'm not saying that nothing more will come of that, but we want to look at how to utilize the land better for us as a church and what we can do. As far as hunting and stuff goes on it, it's in the city. Yeah, it's in the city, so we have to be real careful with that. But looking at part of our goals and that was one of the things I wanted to talk about today was introducing our goals and what we have for 2017, and I didn't get that together, and I will present that to you guys soon. But anyway, that's part of one of our things is to get what is this going to cost to clear some of that land out up there so that we can utilize it for campouts or for bonfires or youth events or any of that kind of stuff. There's a wide gamut of things we could do. What does that look like? The issue right now is clearing it out and being able to get in and out of there. Unless you have a truck or an SUV, it's kind of hard to get in and out of there. And but we are working on that. So yes, there's no definite plans, but there are things in place to try to get that figured out. Good question. Anybody else? All right, Kim?
What if somebody's been visiting with us for 5 or 6 or 7 weeks and they kind of like us, but maybe they need to know more before they make a commitment?
Good question. We have in the past done Docking 101, where before you become a member, you have to go to this class and tell you about the church and the different things of the church and answer your questions and hopefully give more information. We're probably going to do that one more time because we're in the middle of, there's a group of people as part of our vision team of putting together what we're calling pathways. And it's a course that people will take. Everybody, we will encourage everybody to go through this at different times. There's this different 101, 201, 301, 401. And it goes all the way up to how do you get involved in the church. But there's different phases of learning each step of the way of what's happening in the church. Where did the church come from? What is the Methodist Church? How do you get involved? What is important about the giving? What do we do with it? All these different things. We're in the process of working all that out. And these churches, y'all, pastor friends of mine, one of my former youth has the largest church, fastest growing church in our conference right now down in Moody. Moody. He told me, he said, Scott, when we established this, they call theirs something different. He said, it took off. And people are asking, I want more, I need to know more. What's next? When I come to the Harbor, what's next? This is going to answer all that. And we're in the process of working on that now. All right, so here's what we're doing. How many of you here this morning have a non-Christian friend or non-churched friend that you know of? Raise your hand. Everybody look around. Everybody look around. Most all the hands are up. All right, so here, I want you to hear me this morning. Half of our United Methodist churches, half in the North Alabama Conference. This North Alabama Conference goes from the Tennessee line, Mississippi, Georgia line, all the way down to Clanton, Calera. Hundreds of churches, I can't remember the total. Half of those churches in the North Alabama Conference have not had a profession of faith in over 5 years. 19% of Huntsville people go to church on any given Sunday. Hey guys, that's 81% of people in our Huntsville area that do not go to church on any given Sunday. 81%. 57% of people in Alabama live in either apartments or condos. Only 10% of them go to church. 10%. 7 youth pastors right here in Meridianville, Hazel Green area meet together. Cody's a part of it. 7 of them of different churches. And they did a survey amongst themselves of the students that they have in their youth group. Would anybody like to take a guess of how many students were in those 7 churches total? I'm talking Flint River. I'm talking small, big churches, okay? Anybody would like to take a wild guess?
500.
500? 200? 300. 300 students in 7 churches, okay? Total. Now, Hazel Green High School, just Hazel Green High School, has 1,400 students. That's just the high school. That does not include Meridianville Middle. That does not include Lincoln County. That does not include Buckhorn, that we all, right here, the Harbor, we have students from, okay? Just Hazel Green High School has 1,400, not counting those other 3 schools, and we only have 300 students in those 7 churches. If that don't blow your mind, I don't know what will. How many of you have ever asked someone to come to the Harbor and they said, 9 o'clock, that's too early? Okay? So, to answer these questions, to answer, to help these people here, our friends that we know that are not church. You saw the majority of the hands that go up are non-Christians. March the 5th. Sunday, March the 5th will be when we kick off our second service. For those people, our friends that can't attend, or won't attend, or don't attend somewhere. They're looking for a church family. The service is geared to reach my friends that we just discussed. And how cool would it be to have 2 full services on Sunday morning? But here's the deal. We need you to get involved. We need you to get involved and help in some way. I don't know what time. It's either going to be 10:45, 11 o'clock. Leadership's meeting today. We're going to nail that down. You say, well, it's just 15 minutes. Well, 15 minutes makes a lot of difference to different people. We have children's ministry we have to look at, getting kids in and out, you in and out, new people, the second service people in and out. We've got the band that gets here at 7:30 in the morning to practice, and then they stay after church and practice. So now we've got a second service in there, the time in between, and practice afterwards. So yeah, it does make a big difference, and we want to try to accommodate everybody's needs. We just don't know that we can, but we're going to do the best we can with it. But here's the deal, y'all. Children's ministry alone, just children's ministry on Sunday morning. Anybody want to take a wild guess at how many volunteers they have on a Sunday morning? 10. 10 volunteers every Sunday morning. We've asked people and asked people and asked people, please, please serve. You can serve once a month if we get enough people that can serve. And then this is what we hear. This is what I hear. Well, I don't want to miss worship. Guess what? You don't have to now. You can serve and worship all on the same day. It's just kind of like Sunday school. Instead, you're going to church and worship, and then you can serve. Well, I just don't know about serving with kids. It's one Sunday for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how long-winded the preacher is. You can do it. Hang on, Bev. Hang on. Hang on. Don't forget now. Hang on. All right, so we need usher lead for the second service. We need ushers. We need greeters. We would love to have a whole nother band up here. Don't comment, band. I know, you agree. Or maybe we do it to where they serve once and then the band serves the next 2 services the next week. So if you've, and this is what I've heard over the years of being in worship leading ministry. Well, I hadn't played that guitar in 15, 20 years. Back when I was in high school, I was in a band, I could play it. You can still play it. You just got to pick it up and dust it off, and you can get back into it. We need people, and we need you. So, we would love to have more volunteers. We got to. We're working the ones that we have a lot. And we need you. So I need you to be thinking about this. This is something to be talking about, thinking about, praying about in the 21 days coming up. God, where do you have me? What do you want me to do? We need people in the sound booth. We have people basically doing the sound, the same people, every single week. John's finally getting to sit out here one Sunday with his wife. We need people, y'all. This service, and this is what I was saying just a minute ago, Chris, is not going to be successful if we don't have people volunteer. I've had people say, well, how are we going to advertise? We don't have the money to do this mass mail out. Guys, that stuff is expensive. What about a billboard? Well, we could do a billboard. They're expensive too, but yeah, we could do it. But the best word of mouth is your mouth. And you got to invite people to come. Invite those friends. But ever since I've been here, I've heard this, and I don't, like I said, I don't serve because I don't want to miss worship. Here's your opportunity. We video the sermons. So if you don't happen to get to see the sermon, whether you're here or not, you can go on my website and watch them. You can stay in, when we do the series and stuff, so you won't miss that. But we need each and one of you, every single one of you, to help in some way to reach your friends. We need help in youth ministry. And those of you that are new here this morning, I'm sorry you're having to hear this. I know you may have come to hear a sermon. You're not really hearing a per se sermon. The Bible, read through the Bible, y'all. You're not too late in getting involved with that. Even though we're a week into it, you can catch up or start your year from today. We've got 2 groups that are reading through the Bible different ways. Darylville's leading one, I'm leading one. We have Facebook small closed groups where we're discussing things that we're reading each day. It doesn't take 5 minutes, trust me, to read what needs to be read if you'll make the time. And we can grow together. We're trying to do all these things to help us individually, help you, and help us as a church. All right, Miss Beth, question. Hang on, here comes Cody. So, hang on.
It was just a statement, since Tammy isn't here and she's back there. When you said people are afraid because they don't know what they can do with teaching the children, I do have to say that this program she has now, we have marvelous ladies back there that are actually leading their children's little worship of their own. And the program is designed that it's fairly easy to do it with the children. You know, if an old lady like me can do it, I think that a whole bunch of you others can do it.
Well, thank
That's
you.
all I have to
Well,
say.
thank you. And you know, and tying on to what Bev was saying there, the important thing too is Tammy gives you she gives a book and everything that's got everything in there. So you go and you study it, and it's not that you have to come up with your own curriculum, your own lesson plan. Any questions about what we just talked about?
Celebrate Recovery is still going on.
Celebrate Recovery, Thursday nights, 6 o'clock, to have a meal here, yes. And we'll be talking about that in a few weeks more, but that's a tremendous ministry here of anybody with hurts, habits, and hang-ups that want to be a part of Celebrate Recovery every Thursday night.
I like that question.
Okay?
With the Celebrate Recovery, can you just jump in it at any time?
Jump
Or
in.
do you have to start when it starts the,
No.
how many
It's a-
weeks or
It's a
whatever?
great question, Laura. On Thursday nights, you can jump in anytime you want to, any week you want to come in. Now, what they do periodically during the year is they'll start a step study, which is a break off of that, where you really dive deep into the 12 steps. And it takes anywhere from 10 months to a year of going through that. Once they get to a certain point in that group, nobody can come into it because they've gotten too far.
Right.
But that's different. But on Thursday night, they'll tell you all about that. But on Thursday nights, you can come anytime you want to. It doesn't matter. Next week, we start back in the sermons, okay, in 21 days. And I want you to be praying about this week. And maybe you have some questions that you're scared to ask. Catch me after the service, shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. We're going to stand down and have some time of prayer, and hopefully you'll use this time to pray and seek the Lord. You can come to the altars. We have people that are trained to pray with you if you'd like. But as we move to this time,